Hey folks, April Reigne. I want to show you at least the highlights of today's congressional hearing. It's not being covered that much in the news, and it should be because this has been going on. It's been an issue for 5 years. And they are just now, they being Wells Fargo, they're just now getting around to apologizing and kind of, sort of, but I get the feeling not really remedying the situation. So I've taken the highlights of it from today's hearing, which is September 29th. Enjoy.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks.
I can't believe some of what I'm hearing here. So let me understand. You've been the CEO since 2007. You've been the chair of the board and the CEO since 2010. Is that correct?
That is correct, Congressman.
And in the time that you have been that chair, I have a chart here that shows you've been penalized almost systematically every year since you have been in charge. Every year. $1.2 billion in April of 16, $53 million in October of 15, $4 million in June of 15, another $24 million in January of 15, $5 million in September of 14. I mean, and I go on and on, $869 million in September 13, while you were the CEO, right? And you're going to tell me that there's not a culture of something wrong at Wells Fargo? When you are the head, you get credit. You get credit as CEO when you bring in all this money, because that's how you get your bonuses. Is that not correct? You get a bonus from your board because X amount of dollars come in. But yet, are you telling me that you don't have the responsibility of losing your position when you have a culture of being fined and costing the bank year after year, month after month? There's no responsibility. You can just stay to be the chairman and the CEO? Is that what you want us to believe?
Congressman, that is not the case. I serve at the pleasure of the board. I'm willing, I've told you.
Then the whole board needs to go if they're going to allow someone to be in charge when time after time. You just talked about you fired 5,300 employees. When you found out that they were doing something wrong, they were fired. Correct. Because they were doing something wrong. Well, something is going wrong at this bank, and you are the head of it. So shouldn't the board then turn, from your own admission, if the buck stops with you, as you came out here and said, I apologize, the buck stopped with me, and you have to also admit that criminal activity was going on in your bank, then you should be fired because it stops with you.
Well, again, Congressman, the board has that power. That's their, and my energy right now is to lead this company forward. Sir, I also want to remind...
So you came here and you started out by saying, I apologize, etc. If somebody walked into Wells Fargo tomorrow and robbed your bank or defrauded your bank, and then after they're caught, they'll say, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to take full responsibility for robbing this bank, and I am sorry that I robbed this bank. So please don't prosecute me because I am sorry now that I robbed this bank. Would you allow the person just to walk out after robbing your bank because he is now sorry that he robbed his bank after he took the money already?
Congressman, I see something very different between being honest and breaking our code of ethics and taking advantage of...
You didn't break code of ethics?
And
Did your bank... Do you realize that you have not only given... Would you admit this? That not only do your bank have a black eye, that your bank, Wells Fargo, has given the entire financial service industry a black eye. Your responsibility. Yeah, you heard Mr. Sherman now. He wants... And I agree with him. He wants everybody to come in here. Why? There's only one reason why. Your bank, you, CEO, chairman, basically for me, was on top of what basically has been a criminal enterprise. Because when I look at consistency, time after time after time and time again, you have to get fines. Now, it must mean that you're making a lot of money because it's easier to pay the fine because you know that nothing else is going to happen to you. So you pay the fine, you get away, you make a lot of money. Now, I'm upset. I'm from New York. A lot of times, I believe in financial institutions. That's why I'm so mad. I believe that they make our country better. until they rip us off. And they ripped us off tremendously, taking advantage of customers and consumers when we had the financial crisis. I've got individuals right now who are on the street, they're not back in their homes. They had these fraudulent mortgages. Nobody has said, oh, I'm sorry that we gave you these fraudulent mortgages. We're going to put you back in your home, and we're going to make sure that everything is okay. No one has done that for them. You haven't volunteered to do that. Will Wells Fargo put people back in their homes?
Congressman, if I could just respond for a second, please. There's no question we don't do everything right, and we've made mistakes. We're upping our game.
So who should pay for it? If you didn't do anything right, who's accountable for it?
We're going to make it right for every one of our customers.
Your VP made a $125 million bonus package. Your institution's making over $22 billion a year. Who is paying for it? Who's taking responsibility for it? Don't come tell me you're sorry.
We're taking care of every one of our customers who is impacted.